Don't worry, no intro.
So today we're going to be discussing something very, very interesting. I guess we find it interesting because we still have to deal with it every day.
I think a lot of times people just approach us and tell us, what they tell us? That, how are you guys juggling it? So a lot of people who know that we're business partners don't know that we're in a relationship, and a lot of people who know we're in a relationship do not know that we're business partners. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm blessed.
Well,
it just felt like one of those debates where you have jump to your point, then you have like.
So we're going to be discussing something very, 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 very serious: juggling, business, and dating or relationship. And it can get very, very, very interesting because anything that involves human interaction and emotions, it can get very complicated.
Do you remember our first business together?
Would that be building a site for Nubian? What was that company again? Your first company, Nubia Africa, the first company you worked for when you came to Lagos.
And then from there we started building sites for people, and then I started creating content, and then
learned how to build sites.
Then expanded beyond that. Then there was Startup Grind, then there was Entrepreneur. Man,
I think the very first thing to be able to do this optimally is to learn to separate emotions and business. Business is business. When it comes to business, you focus on it.
It's easier said than done.
Yes, it's very. It can get difficult because sometimes you're like, but this is the person I'm dating. She should be telling me this. We should be very nice with words, but sometimes you need to realize that business is business. So emotions is emotions. Find a way to separate it, but speak in love, because at the end of the day, when you go back, at the end of every business or business meeting or every interaction, you know that person is still the person you want to spend the rest of your time with. If you mess it up while doing business, nothing for you, bro.
For you is your name.
Yeah,
but on a serious note, so to be honest, the practical way to be able to do this is the second point, which is to focus on productivity over anything else, right? So for example, if we know that we need to finish an event, we need to finish an event. The event is 3 hours. Emotions aside, drop the emotions at the door. So whatever he said, the goal is to deliver a great event. It's him that vexed you, it's not your consumers or your customers or
and the funniest thing
guests,
let's even zero down on events. At every event that we've organized, we've actually been annoyed with ourselves.
Almost at every. It's not every stop.
It's always something. There's always something. I'm not saying we fought.
I refuse. I reject.
We were sort of annoyed with maybe what this other person did.
I think it's like 1/3. It's not every.
But what is the goal eventually? To execute a very good event.
But still tell them there is no way. I just feel
we go ahead, we do the event. Even not every time you win. Separate emotions from business. Yeah. So even when we have issues with ourselves, people rarely notice it because it's about doing the job. It's about the consumers. It's about the value you are creating. And at the end of the day, value is the most important thing. Nobody's going to give a damn if you guys were fighting. That's why you didn't give the best that you could give.
Yeah, and in the name of being productive, if you're really focused on the goal and everything, it's just really easy to understand that it's not personal. Like, we need to get this done, we need to get this done, we need to get this speaker, we need to get the speaker. You're late. Then take responsibility for your action. Don't expect that you get favoritism or a pat on the back because the person is in a relationship with you. Think about the other team members. You're trying to set an example as well. You can't afford to be misbehaving.
Yeah, and I think just to add to this particular point, and something that I know I do a lot, but when it comes to doing stuff in relationship, I tend to forget. And something you do a lot and I really appreciate is be solution focused. So where there's a problem, she's now feeling like, where there's a problem, figure out a solution. Think of how to move ahead and not the problem. And not debating why you have the problem. Oh, you came late. Oh, this did not happen.
It's hard though, but
it's hard, but if you, at the end of the day, what I've learned and what we've learned is when the event or the business, the deal goes through and we're happy, we end up being happy. So we forget all the fights and enjoy the moment. Oh, we made X amount. Oh, this person told us I enjoyed the event. Oh, I spoke at this event and everybody loved it.
Oh,
we all forget. that we're fighting.
Can I stop playing in this video?
So what's the next thing?
So the next thing I would suggest is complete your communication cycle. This one took us a while to learn, right? So sometimes we might be on the same page about something, but we'll not get to a solution or a final agreement or something like that. So a quick guide on how to complete that communication cycle would be to first listen. Don't assume you know what the person is trying to say. It would help business and it will also help relationship. Like, listen.
This will actually apply to everything in life.
Everything actually. Listen first. Let the person make their point, no matter how long it takes them to get there. Shall just listen. Then when you're done listening, talk. Don't hold it in your chest. Don't be like, oh, you said this thing, but my chest, I will pain back, or I can handle it, or you bury the emotion. It's really important. Just also share your own views, or talk your own talk, or have your own, just talk, weigh in on what the person had just said, and then try your best to understand.
As in, that's a big deal.
So while you have your own way that you are thinking, also try to reason it from the other person's point of view. Is person making sense? Is it not?
And that actually comes from empathy. Trying to put yourself in that person's shoes. If I was in that person's situation,
what would I do?
Yeah. I mean, is that how I react?
And when you're done with all this, give feedback, because
very important.
You get why you are saying this, but maybe this is a better way. Or I guess why you're saying this and I totally agree with you. Yeah. And
then we need to make concessions actually to add to that, because your way is not always right. And even when your way is right, when you're in a relationship, sometimes you have to accommodate the other person's thinking or the other person's way. So learn to make accommodation for the other person's feedback or the other person's point or whatever.
So the next part is apologizing. So I feel like a lot of people
we learn this every day.
No, it's very important. People just come around and be like, I apologize that you feel hurt about this situation. Hello, what? Is it the situation that hurts me? No, it's you. So if you feel, and truly, I personally do not like when somebody says I'm sorry, I tend to ask you, what are you sorry about? Because if you don't know what you did and what you're sorry for, then you have no reason being sorry. I'd rather you don't say sorry at all.
I'm sorry.
Cancelled. No. So you really have to apologize.
I'm sorry for finishing the yogurt.
Apologize. And that's a real one right there. Very real. But truly, what do you think about apologies though?
I mean, you can't give a blanket apology and expect that it makes sense, right? I apologize for me. I do it a lot, to be honest. So like I said, this is a unraveling of our journey. So, and these are things that we have had to learn over time. If you're apologizing, there has to be a reason you're apologizing. You're not saying sorry and then walk away. What did you do? How are you going to remediate the solution, the thing? How are you going to solve the thing? Sorry, I did this. I would not do this. Next time I'll try to do this. Right? Sorry, I spoke to you this way. Next time I'll learn to listen and then respond. Even if the thing about apologizing is sometimes you're actually right. You're making the right point, but because of the way you gave the feedback or you were executing your point, it causes problems.
More friction.
So because you want peace. Yes, peace.
But that's not really apologizing, please. You're apologizing because you love and respect the person. And truly, that person is not happy. You'll not be happy. There are times that I cannot eat food that I love because the food does not taste the way I love it in my mouth. Like, I'm serious. This time I went to eat spaghetti or something, my favorite pasta, and this young man had annoyed me. So when I was eating it didn't taste like my favorite pasta again. So it was very painful. So things like that just sort of tick me off. So it's often better that you settle the air and make everything a happy. You're happy, he's happy, everybody's happy. The business is happy, the relationship is happy, the customers are happy, spectators are happy, you are happy, because that's why we're now making this video.
I think the next thing in juggling business and relationship is you have to improve yourself.
Yep.
It's a very big deal. This is taking you away from even the conversation. Remember that gist we're talking about how, this village girl will go to school and all of a sudden, the way she sees her boyfriend that is in the village is not the same way and she wants to break up.
Yeah.
Oftentimes.
And it's not because the boyfriend did anything.
Yeah, but it's just life.
Their point of view.
As you go on in life, as you grow in life, perspective change. You have to keep up, especially when you're in a relationship. I mean, your partner cannot be thinking billions and you're still thinking thousands. You guys are not going to be compatible anymore. Forget love. No, it's the truth.
You'll be compatible with other things.
Even love is a growth process. You grow. So improve yourself so that you not only challenge yourself because you're in a relationship, both of you are actually enjoying that growth process. Right?
In some way, just compete with yourself. Like,
basically,
be better than you were yesterday.
Get promoted if she's getting, because look at it. I mean, think about it. She gets promotions, but you're just sitting down on one spot and you're not doing it.
It's not your fault now. You don't determine promotion.
No, but you can improve yourself in other ways.
And promote yourself.
And I will use us as a practical example. Example. See. So a year plus 2 years ago, I didn't really have an interest in art, but she loved art. Guess what? I immersed myself in art and I'm loving it. Now we got a new place. All of a sudden she loved plants. And guess who is more passionate about plants now?
Actually, now he's carrying it on his head more than me.
So you have to learn to keep up the pace. She was not much of a techie and she really put in the work. So at the end of the day, if you want to communicate appropriately, you guys have to be on the same level. One person cannot be growing and the other person is just,
Yeah, actually, truly, not just in improving yourself, but also take interest in what the other person is doing, no matter how little. You don't have to be too involved, but just,
when I watch football, she watches football.
Yeah, and there's wrestling as well. I love wrestling. I love wrestling. Till then, they told us that they were acting it, so I detached from wrestling, but he still likes wrestling, so I had to go back to.
And then there are times she goes, "Oh, look at this movie, let's watch." To be honest, there are times you're not in the mood. But you do certain things out of love.
Yeah, truthfully. So next point, which is like our second to last point, cheerlead each other. So this is what I think every friend should do. It doesn't have to be because you're dating. It's the least you can do. If your friend is doing something, he's free. He's free to cheerlead. It's very free.
Just go on Instagram. This my guy is the best artist
and
ever.
Don't go and lie. If you know the person is going to do that.
Emmanuel Yeleke is the best photographer.
Labik is the baddest dancer. You know, all of those kind of things. Nafe makes the best clothes. All of those kind of things. And you don't have to lie.
Be genuine,
be genuine. Use their product. Patronize them. But then back to relationship. Patronize your partner. Talk about your partner. Except you're not proud of their work. But if you are, it's not a problem. It's just there are some people that have not developed themselves, so you're not proud of their work, and that's fine. Don't feel pressure to recommend bad products. But if you're proud of the work, or if you at least know that this person is putting in effort, I think you should be able to talk about your partner and talk about what they're doing and help them even get business.
There are times that she goes for speaking event and I'm in the crowd and people are looking at me. Who is this guy standing up to take pictures? Who's this guy
we do it to each other.
And then I go for events too, and then she's there. In my previous life with the company where we used to work, she was almost a staff. In short, all the staff knew her.
I was a staff. So if you are
because
new in
everything
the company
I was doing,
and you're looking at me like this,
anything that meant I was standing up front, this young lady will be in the crowd.
Yeah. And so when I'm not there, there will be nobody to take 5 pictures. So in case you've not seen a picture that he was speaking at the event or something, because I was not there to take that.
Okay, and what's the last point?
And so finally, have goals and plans. So these are a bit different. Having goals is you want to do something, right? And you set a time that you want to do it and you're very specific about what you're trying to achieve. But then people don't take that next step to distilling how it would come to be, right? Mm-hmm. So for example, you want to move to your own place in 2020, but you've not figured out what kind of place you want to move to, how much it's going to cost, what money you have to start saving, what money you have to start making. That's where the planning comes in. Create like a pathway to show, to help you reach that goal way better, faster.
And the truth is, when you're in a relationship or a business partnership, your goals sort of have to converge in a way. Yes, they have to converge because you have a common goal. What's the common goal? To build X at the end of the day.
And that's the common goal.
So the goals have to converge in a way. Thank you very much for watching this episode, but it will not be complete without me doing my bit of cheerleading. Having my Blessing. Yeah. Blessing is a badass brand and communications manager or specialist. In short, she's my brand manager actually. If you check my Instagram, I was inspired by her. She does most of, in short, I don't know. She's the best.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
This
so-
is what he's talking about. I feel like I'm collecting Grammy. But yeah, Web is also really good at what he does. I mean, he
What
does
I do?
like bomb websites. He's currently working as a VC where he's helping to invest in small businesses. We also run a podcast together where we share business tips all the time. I know this was a little more serious, but I mean, business is serious business.
Making money is serious business,
making money is
actually.
serious business.
And
And then
if you want to
dating
enjoy
is also
life,
serious business, so we might as well take it very seriously.
and a relationship without money is what?
It's not a relationship. Don't nobody lie to you. You're not gonna be eating the love and breathing love of oxygen. So take it a little bit easy.
So thank you very much for watching this episode.
Yeah, we love you. Follow all our businesses. They will show up. They will show up all up on
And
the
where you
screen.
need to consult for your small businesses.
He's
Or-
your guy.
No, and she's your guy too because she's.
We're both good at that one.
Yeah, I mean we do it for companies, so yeah.
And for fun.
Yeah.
Still, it depends on how you meet us.